and we are here to address a press conference on the vindication of the party's position on the judgment so far delivered by Justice Peter Lifu. The leadership of the Labour Party has been watching with keen interest the development in the political sphere in Nigeria, particularly with the recent miscarriage of justice perpetuated and done by Justice Peter Lifu of the Federal High Court, Abuja. It's quite unfortunate that his illegal and embarrassing conduct have finally come to the head. The problem with most Nigerians is whenever something happens to Paul, Peter will say it does not concern him. And when it happens to Peter, John will say, how did that concern him? When Justice Peter Lifu gave the questionable judgment against Labour Party leadership, nobody spoke up. Today he has visited other parties and everybody is crying blue murder. When he miscarried justice against the Labour Party, I had expected some Nigerians, prominent Nigerians, courageous Nigerians, to condemn it, but they waited till some other persons were affected. It must be noted that apart from the deregistration of ADC and some other political parties, Justice Peter Lifu has willfully embarked on actions capable of endangering or even truncating our democracy through his judicial rascality and his continuous miscarriage of justice. We in Labour Party are worst hit by the judgment of Justice Peter Lifu. I want to state as follows. On the 7th of October 2025, in suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/2119/2025, filed by Senator Nnamdi Usman against INEC. This matter, which was on the Labour Party's National Convention that was held on the 27th of March 2024, was assigned to Justice 𝗟𝗂𝗋. Ordinarily, Justice 𝗟𝗋 had delivered two judgments, thus giving vent and very legal opinion on the National Convention of the party. May I just say that in those judgments, 𝗟𝗋 made it clearly that the convention was legit, it was valid in both occasions. We were very happy and had expected that justice will be done by Justice 𝗟𝗋. Curiously, after we had joined all the issues and filed all the papers, the matter was discontinued on the 28th of October 2025. Another matter was then filed via suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/202262/2025 by the same parties and the same subject matter, but this time the presiding judge of the Federal High Court now assigned the matter to Justice Peter Lifu. This was our first major red flag. We suspected that something was in the offing. In any event, because we have a very good case, we decided to continue with the matter. The second red flag on Justice Lifu was that when the matter came up for hearing, the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, filed a motion for a joiner. and raised a lot of fundamental issues that apparently negated our positions. So it was very imperative that we needed to respond to all those issues raised by the NLC. On the basis of this fresh motion, we asked for an adjournment to enable us to do responses to some of those things that came up. Justice Peter 𝗵𝗹𝗶𝗏, however, decided to descend on the arena and insisted that the matters must go on. On that day, without allowing us to respond, he insisted that the matter must go on the same day. I've never seen where that is done. He didn't even allow us a day to come with a response. He insisted on his court that the matter must go on, even when there is a new matter before us by the Nigerian Labour Congress. So it was obvious that something was cooking up. So he refused all attempts for us to respond to those issues, and he insisted that the matter must be heard the same day. He was acting like a man in a hurry to conclude a task and to meet up with a target, because you didn't allow us to also respond to matter. Why would it be so? So there was no reason for him not to have allowed us to respond to the claims. Even if for a short adjournment, it was there and then that we started suspecting that there must be a lot more than we can see. In any event, because we don't want to be unruly to the court, we decided that the matter should go on. He heard it that day because he insisted, and adjourned for judgment. And he eventually did the hardest job. For I dare say, Governor Alex Otti and Senator Nnamdi Usman. We took a lot of things for granted because we thought that having a good case, there is nothing a reasonable judge could do about the matter. Ladies and gentlemen, we had every reason to have protested, petitioned, and to have done a whole lot of things, because Alex Otti himself convened a meeting in Abia where he boasted and assured his people that he will get a judgment. It was all over the internet and social media how they were jubilating while expecting the judgment even before the judgment day. What a sad thing. It was very clear that they knew what would be the outcome of the judgment. In his judgment, Justice 𝗵𝗹𝗏 advocated to himself the supervisory role over the Supreme Court, and he willfully misinterpreted the Apex Court, the Supreme Court. We want to say that as at now, that judgment of the Federal Court could negate, and it is against all known principles of law. Is it the principle of law where court says that the issue of leadership are internal affairs of the party, nor the principle that no court has the powers to interpret a decision or give effect to the decision of the Supreme Court, or even that of the doctrine of fair hearing that must be adhered to? All these are established principles of law that Justice 𝗵𝗹𝗏 judgment was against. He completely ignored all these principles. We are, however, happy that we have indicated by the recent judgment of Justice 𝗵𝗹𝗏, where he ordered INEC to deregister 5 political parties. This has no doubt brought his character and behavior to the fore. In any event, our only regret, however, is that this same judgment delivered by Justice Lifo was also reaffirmed by the Court of Appeal. Regrettably, we believe that the Supreme Court will do justice to the matter and do the right thing, being the final court of remedy in Nigeria. I want to say very clearly that our democracy, party politics, and the rule of law, our constitution, and the Electoral Act are under serious threat. It is on this basis that I want to call on the courageous judges of the Supreme Court to rise to the occasion and steer our ship of judiciary out of where it is currently headed to. Because if the courts continue in this manner, it will be very clear that our democracy is heading towards destruction. Finally, the Supreme Court must rise up and behave like the Supreme Court of the old. We know of some of those courageous judges, like Justice 𝗵𝗹𝗶𝗴𝗏, Justice 𝗍𝗽𝗹𝗃, Justice Patricia Akure, Justice Karibe White, amongst other Supreme Court judges who defended courageously and fought for the principles of law which they swore to uphold. This is the time for the National Judicial Council to rise up and defend democracy and the rule of law. This is because the image of this all-important institution, important arm of government, is being eroded, knowing that this is how nations fall and destroy their democracy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we want to